They came like a storm, swift, ruthless, unstoppable. Entire cities vanished, armies crumbled, and empires bowed before them. The Mongols, once a scattered group of nomadic tribes, built the largest contiguous empire in history, changing the world forever. But how did a boy, abandoned by his own people, rise to become the most feared and respected leader the world had ever seen? How did his army, forged in the harsh steppes, conquer lands from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe? And what ultimately led to their downfall? This is the incredible story of the Mongol Empire, their rise, their reign, and their lasting legacy. To understand the Mongol Empire, we must first understand the man who built it, Genghis Khan, born as Temujin in 1162. Life on the Mongolian steppes was unforgiving, and survival depended on strength, alliances, and cunning. When Temujin was just a boy, his father, a tribal chief, was poisoned by enemies. Without a leader, his family was abandoned by their own clan, left to struggle alone in the harsh wilderness. But instead of giving up, young Temujin learned the art of resilience. He hunted for food, endured captivity when he was enslaved by a rival tribe, and slowly built his reputation as a fierce warrior and strategic leader. Over the years, he gathered a loyal group of followers, forming alliances with powerful Mongol tribes. He wasn't just strong, he was brilliant. He introduced a new kind of leadership based on merit, not just noble birth, a rare concept in his time. Warriors followed him because he rewarded loyalty and skill rather than lineage. By 1206, after years of brutal battles, betrayals, and victories, he had united the Mongolian tribes under one banner. At a great gathering known as a Kurultai, he was declared Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The Mongols, once divided and warring, had become an unstoppable force under his command. What made the Mongols so fearsome? Was it just their numbers? No, it was their unmatched military tactics. The Mongols weren't just raiders, they were strategic masterminds. Their warriors were expert horsemen and archers, able to shoot accurately while riding at full speed. But even more terrifying was their ability to adapt. Genghis Khan studied his enemies, learning siege warfare from the Chinese, psychological warfare from the Persians, and battlefield tactics from the steppe traditions. He used speed, deception, and brutality to crush his enemies. If a city resisted, it was destroyed completely, its people either killed or enslaved. But if a city surrendered without a fight, it was spared and even rewarded. This reputation for mercy and destruction gave the Mongols an immense psychological advantage. One of their deadliest tactics was the feigned retreat. The Mongols would pretend to flee in chaos, luring their enemies into a trap. Once the enemy let their guard down, the Mongols would turn and annihilate them. This strategy won them countless battles. Their siege warfare was equally terrifying. Although they came from the open steppe, they quickly mastered siege engines like catapults and trebuchets, using them to bring down massive city walls from China to the Middle East. Under Genghis Khan's leadership, the Mongols began their conquests, sweeping through Asia with unstoppable force. Their first major target? The Shi, Xia, and Jin dynasties in northern China. Within a few years, these once mighty kingdoms fell. But the real test came when they clashed with the Khwarezmian Empire in Persia. After the Persian ruler insulted Genghis Khan by executing his envoys, the Mongols retaliated with full fury. They stormed city after city, leaving destruction in their wake. No force could stand against them. Even after Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his successors carried on his vision. Under his grandson, Kublai Khan, they conquered all of China and established the Yuan dynasty. In the west, the Mongols reached as far as Poland and Hungary, defeating European armies with ease. At their peak, they controlled over 24 million square kilometers of land, nearly a quarter of the world's landmass. Despite their reputation as ruthless conquerors, the Mongols also created a period of stability and prosperity known as Pax Mongolica, or Mongol peace. With a vast empire stretching across continents, trade along the Silk Road flourished like never before. Goods, technologies, and even ideas flowed freely between China, the Middle East, and Europe. The Mongols protected merchants, standardized trade routes, and even developed a system of passports to ensure safe travel. This era saw the transmission of paper money, gunpowder, and even the first recorded encounters between Europeans and Asians. One of the most famous travelers of this time was Marco Polo, who visited Kublai Khan's court and later wrote detailed accounts of the wonders he saw. His stories fascinated Europeans, inspiring future explorers like Christopher Columbus centuries later. But no empire lasts forever. After Genghis Khan's death, his descendants divided the empire into 4 khanates, each ruled by different factions. Over time, power struggles, rebellions, and the sheer difficulty of governing such a vast land led to their decline. In China, the Ming dynasty overthrew the Mongols, pushing them back to the steppes. In Russia, the Mongols lost their grip as local rulers, like Ivan the Great, pushed them out. By the 15th century, the once mighty Mongol Empire had fractured, leaving behind only memories of their former glory. So after ruling the world, what happened to the Mongols? Did they simply vanish? Far from it. The Mongols adapted. As their empire crumbled, different Mongol groups integrated into the societies they once ruled. In Persia, Mongol rulers converted to Islam and became part of the Persian aristocracy. In China, the Mongol Yuan dynasty was replaced by the Ming, but Mongol warriors remained a formidable force along China's borders. In Russia, the Golden Horde fractured into smaller khanates, some of which lasted for centuries. Even today, the legacy of the Mongols lives on. The Kazakhs, Uzbeks, and Tatars all trace their heritage back to the Mongol era. And of course, in Mongolia itself, the people still honor Genghis Khan as a national hero. His name is everywhere, on currency and statues, and even in the hearts of modern Mongols who see him as the father of their nation. What if the Mongol Empire had never fallen? Imagine a world where the Mongols continued their expansion. Would they have conquered the entire world? Perhaps. Their military tactics were superior to those of medieval Europe, and their ability to adapt meant they could have advanced further into Western Europe or even beyond. But even if they had survived, governing such a vast empire was always their biggest challenge. Communication across such an enormous territory was slow, and internal conflicts would have continued to threaten stability. Had they adapted to new technologies, such as firearms, the Mongols could have remained dominant even into the early modern period. Some historians speculate that a Mongol-dominated world might have accelerated globalization by centuries, connecting the East and West far earlier than in our actual timeline. Though the Mongol Empire faded, its influence remains. They reshaped global trade, introduced new warfare tactics, and connected civilizations like never before. Their story is one of ambition, brilliance, and transformation. From a boy named Temujin to the rulers of the largest empire the world has ever seen, the Mongols changed history forever. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible history stories. See you next time.